Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Tech Frenzy. On time, as always. That's what we do. Late, currently right now, late. Not true. I just showed you the phone. Still is 7 o'clock. We made it, baby. All right, let's get into the news. So, if you guys don't know, SoFi's fireside chat happened today. This was extremely exciting. Not only did he go on CNBC to talk to Andrew Sorkin about how they're going to be the first bank to offer buy, sell, and hold crypto, but there were so many additional details that were added on the fireside chat that essentially spelled out the entire playbook for where SoFi is going. I also want to talk about today, aside from just SoFi, but we'll have a lot to talk there, what's going on with Robinhood, Nubank, NVIDIA, AMD, Meta, Apple, and a few other small stories. I kind of want to start with Apple because this might be the stupidest story I've ever seen, and I honestly think that this company is failing. Whenever I see these types of ventures happen from a company this size, I just think, my oh my, they're out of ideas. If you guys know what I'm thinking about already, you already like. If you guys saw this story, you already know what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead. I'll show you. This was Apple's iPhone Pocket. Yeah, that's what it is. They are making a short-strapped version. It's just a piece of cloth. And then a long-strap version that would be worn as almost a satchel. And it holds your iPhone. Okay? How much do you think that they are selling this product for? Please let me know in the comments. Put in what you guys think they are charging for this stupid satchel. Honestly, they're completely out of ideas. That's instead of focusing on artificial intelligence, they're laughing in the face of $40, $100, $50. Well, Logan put in this crazy number, $250. Yeah, I mean, that can't be it. Oh, wait, actually, you might be one of the closest. So for the short strap, it's $150 US, and for the long strap, it's $230. This is a piece of knitted cotton. Like, what are we talking about here? $230. They're in the business of just ripping off their customers. And the worst part about this is that there's going to be one famous person who ends up buying this, and then it's going to be all the rage as being a fashion product until a bunch of other companies that design it in China end up cutting off those rates, and then people can buy it for 20. But for real, stop doing this. Focus on the tech part of your business, the thing that actually makes your margins work, instead of trying to solve for these non-existing problems. Everyone that wants to hold their iPhone around a strap has a purse already or some form of fanny pack. It is the dumbest thing. I honestly don't know if Apple is going to grow much more going forward. Like, with these types of ideas and what they're focusing on rather than artificial intelligence, they have lost my my vote of confidence. It's insane. Okay. That being said, let's get into the next less crazy story, which, now that everyone's here, we'll talk some SoFi. SoFi, as I showed you guys, did end up getting into crypto, and crypto not in just a small way. Like, obviously, we've known that this is coming for some time, but they've put it back on their website officially. You can join the waitlist, and some people are being approved as of today, according to SoFi, that they are doing a slow rollout as of today. I haven't seen any screenshots of anyone have it in the app just yet, but they are rolling it out. They also lowered the APY, so I think it's down to 4.6 rather than 4.8%. And they've also given an additional benefit through SoFi Travel if you are booking hotels, via Expedia, which is SoFi's travel portal. So just additional benefits if you are a SoFi user. Nothing too big there in terms of the APY side. They are lowering those rates to try to boost up their margins and also stay competitive. If there are more broader interest rate cuts like what we saw in October, then they will have to follow to some degree. They had actually held up their interest rate level much higher this time than what we've seen in previous cuts. Now, in terms of the crypto and fireside chats, there were so many things that they ended up talking about. There was a couple things. So the first one I want to talk about is SoFi USD. This was their stable coin that they ended up talking about. It's going to be used not just for SoFi, but they want to use it across all Galileo customers. They even said they're going to try to sell it to, every single bank or commercial bank that they end up using, and that they can even white label it to their own name. Like you don't need to call it SoFi USD, but the reason why you would want to is because if you are a regular business that needs help with payments and lowering those costs, SoFi has the advantage because they're actually federally chartered bank, and so they can end up, instead of just going out and getting short-term T-bills or stuff like this, they can actually work directly with the Fed. They have a Fed account that allows them to get almost guaranteed pools of liquidity, and they don't have risk of duration risk or credit risk or anything along these lines. So SoFi looks in decent position versus the other players that are in the stablecoin space right now to potentially win some share. We'll see how that actually ends up working out. There have been some times where I think Anthony Noto has been confident in a certain outcome, and that outcome hasn't happened as fast as he'd want it to. So the great thing about crypto is that once SoFi USD is launched, we'll be able to watch the success of that product in real time because it's tracked on blockchain. Okay. Then there was a comment, or actually, I'll stay on the stablecoin side for just a quick second. The current SoFi Pay, the way it is without the stablecoin, is being used for remittances. They will be using the SoFi USD for remittances as well. And we knew about Mexico and we knew about Europe, but this time they said, we'll launch Europe and Brazil before the end of the year. So they gave us a timeline on it, as well as an additional country, which is a country that houses 300 million people, 290 million people in Brazil. What's the number? 290? Something like that. So yeah, that was also quite interesting. That right now is using Bitcoin's Lightning Network in order to essentially send transactions or send payments for almost zero fees. Instantaneously, by the way. Okay. There was another thing that he ended up saying. Actually, I'll skip that. It's not crazy exciting, but one of the things that he said about SoFi USD was this. I'm just going to read off this quote here. My pitch is to everyone that we're going to build the technology on our technology platform business. You guys can wrap SoFi USD coin with your own name, and we'll do all the minting, all the burning, all the treasury work, and we'll even get you Fed funds rates. Now, I think that that's a really interesting way to put it. He said that they want to do it in as many currencies outside of the United States as necessary. So it's not just going to be SoFi USD. Could be much more than that. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking through some of the transcript and some of the points here. There's some points that I want to talk about on a separate video that are smaller points, but not immediately exciting. We're going to do institutional buy, sell, and hold as well. They want to get into institutional trading. He said that's around the corner. I mentioned that SoFi USD is by January, but honestly, hopefully it'll be sooner. And then once they roll it out, SoFi USD, he said, it'll be a very short walk to the rest of the crypto products, and we can move very fast whenever we need to. He said, we have a great engineering, product, and design team, and massive crypto ambitions. I think that this is so interesting. institutional clients for trading for crypto, very interesting. They ended up getting a lot of this technology from a company that they acquired. It looks to be BlockFi, because of their Flory ended up joining the team, who was one of the co-founders of BlockFi back whenever Three Arrow Capital ended up going down. That business ended up going under. So it all sort of makes sense that a business that went under that had great technology for crypto lending and crypto services is also, they hired on one of the key people in that business and then potentially even acquired that tech stack as well. Here, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to blow my nose really quick. Okay. Yeah, the institutions part is quite interesting. I don't know how much volume that they're actually going to end up seeing from this. Even Bitstamp, which was a large customer for Robinhood that, had already been dealing with many institutions all the way back since like 2011, did about $16 million for Robinhood. So who knows how big that's going to get for SoFi. But with Galileo, that could be quite interesting. If they end up rolling out crypto to a bunch of Galileo customers offering buy, sell, hold crypto, potentially that's how they think about institutional trading, is actually customer trading on other platforms that they're offering through, some sort of unified institutional trading platform. They did announce that T-Mobile is shifting their existing portfolio of cards over to Galileo. That also went in line with United Airways, Southwest, and Wyndham. So starting to win a lot of large consumer brands that do want to get into financial services, but are not financial institutions themselves. It's sort of an add-on. And then he did admit that larger financial institutions have just been sort of a disaster case for Galileo, and that they have, sort of the slowest of intentions to try to upgrade their tech stack. He actually even said that the new administration, Trump's administration, is actually making it easier for financial institutions to not upgrade, because obviously it's not regulated for them to do so. The Apple pouches are the Dyson version of the headphones. Yeah, but honestly, I respect it more from Dyson. That's what they do. They come out with these crazy products. T-Mobile, yes. T-Mobile. You heard it here. SoFi Pay in the stablecoin ecosystem might be low-key the most potential other than the loan platform business. I honestly think yes. We've heard this a lot from Anthony Noto, that he believes that payments is going to be like one of the biggest spaces for them. Okay. He said that they're going to market SoFi USD to every large bank, every regional bank, every consumer company that accepts digital assets, and everyone in between. That's a quote. He also said they're rolling out crypto to Hong Kong. Listen to this. He said that the crypto product is going to be as much a top of funnel product for non-existing SoFi members as it is a cross-sell product for existing SoFi members. He thinks that volume is going to come sort of half and half. Half from the 12.5 million people that they already have, and then the other half from, new customers. Now, this is really interesting because he said, whenever people are looking into crypto and they want a bank to facilitate and put that stamp of approval on crypto, the only name that's going to pop up is SoFi. He said, our unaided brand awareness is roughly 10%. So whenever you ask someone out of 100 people, name 3 financial institution companies, only 10 end up saying SoFi in their top 3. Okay. Meaning 90 people don't even know to say SoFi. They don't know about the company. He said, if we can get that up to 30%, that's when we achieve super scale and we're on our way to $1 trillion company. Crypto is going to be a product that will help introduce people to that product to more of the 90 out of the people that have not known about SoFi so far. He's talking about becoming $1 trillion company. Now, just because you want $1 trillion doesn't mean you get $1 trillion. That's clear. But I do think that there is a massive wave of new fintech companies that are just going to absolutely eat up the old guard. Okay. I don't think all the old guard are going to go away, but clearly customers and institutions are going to flock to the products that are best. I mean, that's just what's going to happen over time. But you also don't know to go to SoFi if you've never heard of it. So a lot of it is, brand awareness. SoFi still, for the most part, is very unknown. There is a good percentage of the American population that honestly thinks SoFi is a stadium. They don't even know that it's a bank. Okay. So, yeah, quite interesting. Yeah, $1 trillion company is like $850 or something like this. Obviously, the outstanding share count will change over time, but yeah, it's about 850, something around that line. The share count will change. There will be buybacks between that point. There will be more dilution between these 2 points. And honestly, not hopefully, but it's going to be a long time away. And we just hope that they just see continuous execution and happens within my lifetime. Okay. They need to 27x. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, anything could be a $1 trillion company far enough into the future. That's for sure. It is true. Like what was a $1 trillion company before Apple broke that in 2018, first ever $1 trillion company. Now we have our first $5 trillion company. We have multiple $1 trillion businesses, and we're going to have a lot more into the future. And probably we will see the first financial institution company that is 1 trillion probably as early as in the next 18 months or so. That's just going to be JP Morgan just continuing to do well with their existing book of capital over time. $1 trillion company in banking is often 1 trillion in assets. Wouldn't take literally for market cap. No, I disagree. I think he's definitely talking about market cap. Anytime that he's talked about being a top 10 company, a top 10 institution, he's always referred to it as market cap. So that could be true. I'm not going to rule it out, I guess. But yeah. Aramco was first to $1 trillion. I'm talking public companies. Aramco was not public at the time. It definitely was Apple. We're not going to what's that side effect or whatever where everyone remembers a history being different than what it was? Like Apple was definitely the first $1 trillion company. I don't want to Google it and then it turns out that it wasn't. Then I have to rethink my my entire history. 1 second. All right. Worried I might be coming down with something. Let's just we keep moving forward. Okay. Mandela effect, yeah. What wasn't that the it was named after that because a bunch of people thought that he died in prison or something versus him getting out of prison and then taking some role in politics. There was something along those lines. Tanner, please discuss Webull. I swear no one's covering it, and it will remain uncovered. I don't care about Webull that much. If they start putting up growth that can, look like it's doing as well as SoFi or Robinhood or something like this, and I have a reason to look at that, I mean, maybe, but Yeah, I don't really care. They also announced, SoFi announced a new product, not Cash Coach, but just called Coach. This is a overarching AI agent that is overseeing your entire account, your entire financial life, essentially. It wants to be, a financial planner. It wants to help understand what you're actually spending on, help, break down who you are, what you spend on, what your debt looks like, how to pay it off the best, how to potentially protect yourself from certain downsides, rebuild your portfolio, rebalance your portfolio, all of these things. So that's very important. Surprised he wasn't asked about the bonuses. Why? What would they even say? Sounds scary. Why does that sound scary? You don't have to use it. I'm sure it's something that you have to sign up for. It's just an LLM model. They have a lot of data on you. And so, yeah. People who are on the internet and using like Google and stuff and being like, I don't know, that sounds scary. It's like they have so much more data on you than what SoFi has on you. I don't know why that stuff terrifies people so much. Like what? What do you think it's going to tell you? That you're spending too much on Netflix and Uber Eats? Like you're spending it, man. Yeah, that's where we're going. Hood has AI products too. Cortex is definitely very cool, but it's not always just one-to-one competition. I'm also very bullish on Robinhood as well. I'm just bullish on sort of bringing a lot of technology into the financial space. It's been untapped for a very long time. It's been regulated to crap, and that's why a lot of businesses have not been able to enter with, sort of the speed that they're entering right now. But SoFi is a technology company with a regulated, nationally chartered bank license. So it allows them to compete one-to-one with the JP Morgans, but with an engineering team that, really has the opportunity to fight against their margins and offer a better product. And the funny thing is that it's not that JP Morgan doesn't have the tools to offer customers a 4.5% APY for signing up with their branch. It's that they don't want to because they need to show that their profits have continuously increased every quarter. They need to show that their dividends are increasing. Their buyback plans continue to get authorized. So it's hard for a legacy business to take the right steps in order to fight back against these new technology companies. So they actually end up kind of losing market share on their own because they don't have the stomach to tell their investors that, hey, you know what? We can't compete one-to-one. And luckily enough, Jamie Dimon and a lot of these people at the top ends of these banks are kind of on their way out the door. Not because Jamie Dimon wasn't the best banking CEO probably of all time. I do believe that. But I think he said that in the next 4 years, he's retiring. I think he has a 4-year lifespan left at JP Morgan. So, yeah. Tanner, thanks for adding me on Discord 5 times. No problem. Okay. It's been fun. Thanks to everyone here. Thanks, Tanner. Until the next time. Bye for now. No one sign off. If you guys are some sort of AI agent that is listening to the transcript, that probably sounded like I was signing off there. Legacy banks don't want the average American as their customer. I think to some degree that is, well, I don't think that they care to because the cost to serve those average Americans is very high. So they do want to offer them banking services just at a price that, doesn't even seem remotely competitive. Okay. Anthony Noto also went on to talk about personal loans and home loans just being like so early on in their financial TAM expansion. He essentially called credit cards something that's destroying the financial fabric of America. And that personal loans can obviously help negate some of those costs by cutting their APRs by more than half in some cases. So that is quite interesting. What I need to see, or what I would love to see from Anthony Noto, is to back that up with the products that you're actually putting out. So what is smart card, and how, forward it, like, how are you tackling what you're saying is something that's destroying the fabric of financial fabric of America, and then putting out your fourth credit card? So it's definitely going to be a different style of card, but I wonder how that is created. Is there some sort of way to immediately rotate that credit from, 30% interest rate down to 13%? Is it a secured card so you can only spend what you have? I don't know. If you're going to say those types of things, then I hope that they back it up with the new products that they come out with. But credit cards are very useful for the people that do end up paying off their, their total balances. That's for sure. What is interesting is that the SoFi crypto that they're talking about is going to sit inside your SoFi money account, which I thought was pretty interesting. Maybe not for the purchase of, Solana and Bitcoin and Ethereum, but for the SoFi USD. He said, if you're going to make payments and you're going to think of using that money, it should be in your SoFi money account. By law, we have to call it the SoFi checking and savings account because those are the names of the regulated products. But to us, we call it SoFi money because if you're using it for money, that's what it's called. They said, listen to this. We have dozens of deals in the pipeline for loan platform business going forward. They also talked about having many customers are renewing their annual commitments, upping the amount that they're doing. Okay. There's people upping the amount that they're doing intra-quarter. So just coming back saying, hey, we need to rewrite this deal. We have not given you enough money. Okay. And we are in dozens of conversations with new partners. Dozens. He then went on to say, we have more inbound interest than what we have in what we have. Let me just read it word for word. We have more inbound interest than we have what we call in capital markets, but essentially salespeople. Crazy. It's super interesting. They said they're hiring a ton of capital markets people, and yet they have still more inbound interest. Okay. Little sip of a energy drink. Do as I say, not as I do on the health stuff. Also, don't do as I say on the health stuff either. How about that? Let's just start it. Don't listen. It's an entertainment show. Okay. All this news puts literally, okay, wait, hold on. Let's just give this some perspective. This was the best fireside chat, bar none, that we've ever seen from SoFi. Anthony Noto needs to do way more of these. SoFi Pay seems to be an unbelievable, completely changes the TAM, completely changes the entire business model. Like, it's that big. He really does want to be a payments company. Loan platform business looking better than ever. He had crazy comments to say about home loans, which we've already known, student loans, which we've already known, but just really going to highlight how important these markets are for them. I don't know if there's a more bullish time as a SoFi investor. And he also made comments about speeding up the products in which they are putting out, right? That these crypto products, now that they sort of have things going, are going to start flying off the shelves. Very excited about that. But does this mean that we get into the S&P 500 to then compound these gains going into 2026? Potentially. We have everything there. We have everything we need. We're over a $22.5 billion market cap. We are fully profitable. There's one financial company, which I think is a regional bank, Might even be first. No, it's not Citizens. No, that is, higher than us in market cap. What's going on with Nubank? So Nubank has earnings coming up on. Nubank has earnings coming up on Thursday. Okay, I'm going to be streaming that. Usually, it's a very long call, but very excited. They've also just been continuously pushing out more and more products on their side, which bodes well if you're a bullish investor in Nubank. If I had to pick like my super team 3, it's it's SoFi, Hood, and Nubank. I mean, these guys are the most innovative, fastest moving, in no order, by the way, in no order. But it just came out today that Nubank is now launching a new tool that allows for, they have a secured credit card that called the guaranteed limit, where it was a separate account that you could fill up, and then that would extend the credit cards on your existing, cards. However, now you can just use all of your money box money to then increase your credit card limit, meaning that the amount that you spend on your card, if it goes past your limit, will then just end up taking directly from your money box account, which is essentially your checking accounts, your vaulted accounts, allowing for more spend to be done on the platform through Nubank, so you don't need to go to another company like Mercado Pago or something like this. So big fan of that. They ended up then talking about, actually, this was kind of funny. I thought this was interesting. They got another award, which is not new for Nubank, but the 4th most attractive company to work for in Brazil. Well, maybe it was one of the most attractive companies on November 5th, because they are, for the most part, a work from home business, right? However, a day later, announces new hybrid model in 2026. Starting in 2026, you will now have to come in at least twice a week. I know, crazy, but it might change how they get ranked in the next year's 2026, award for favorite place to work for in Brazil. And then in 2027, it's going to go up to 3 days. Now, as a shareholder, I love this. I love whenever companies make their employers go back to work. It's just through and through. It always shows better results. However, as an employee, I would not want that. I myself work from home every day. It's not by mistake. It's on purpose. So yeah, maybe we see some pushback here, but overall, from every company that has done this in the past, we've seen beneficial results. Okay. Let's see. Guys, upstart analyst upgrade today. Oh, I don't care. You know what was funny is that the fireside chat that Anthony Noto essentially broke down everything that we ended up seeing was with KBW. KBW has one of the lowest ratings of SoFi out of any company. They were at $6 before. They have slowly risen that all the way up to $20. But, that will be Tanner works from home. Yeah. Tanner sort of just hangs out at home, I guess. But yeah, I just thought that it was very funny that KBW was the company that they essentially did this entire roadmap explaining and just unveiled everything that they were working on and where they see the company going and these big, hairy, audacious goals with the analyst that has the lowest rating on them. I just think, mwah, beautiful. New is tomorrow, is it? I don't think that is true. New is Thursday. Tomorrow is D-Local. Unless this is mistaken, I can just go to their IR page really quick and we'll find out quickly. Nope, the 13th. You lied. Okay. The only thing I wish he said was that eventually one day the loan platform business will underwrite for other institutions. That would have been the last thing, like cherry on top. Mwah. You know, Mr. Noto was giving it to KBW. Listen here. We are going to be moving faster than ever. We have the best unit economics. New customers are coming onto the platform. Barely anyone knows about us. That's a good bang, 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 bang. Like just constant. I put out a video recently on SoFi's deposits as a way of, tracking their success. And I think in the United States, just really quickly, you can kind of see their deposits at 0.2% of the entire market. 0.2%, which, by the way, has grown extremely fast just over the last 2 years. Like more than doubled in the market share, not just in growth, in market share. But whenever you take a look at that statistic, it's extremely exciting to know that they could 5x their results and it would still make up for 1% of the market share, which still no large bank would even blink an eye at. They are playing it, under the radar, no need to worry about us, and slowly continue to improve the model till, the larger customers can't even put up a fight. That's where Nubank is right now. Nubank was extremely under the radar, didn't want to talk about much, and now they have 120 plus million users. And the fact that big banks are fully caught on to what is happening on the consumer side, it's just way too late. AI just sounds like a buzzword for Upstart to pump the stock. I don't know if that's true, but I don't know if it's what's needed to completely, change the industry, is just saying, hey, we have AI models that underwrite better than existing banks. I think that could definitely happen without just saying, hey, we have, model version 18, model version 19. SoFi is going to get there too, and they're winning more originations today than what Upstart's doing on their loan platform business they just started. Without, AI. Okay. SoFi's $31 right now in after hours. Let's see. $30.99. It was $32.56. Oh, wait, sorry. No. I was looking at little thing here. Okay. I'm not going to purchase to push it over the ledge. Did that last time at 31. But yeah. Okay, let's continue on with the news. Hood. Well, we ended up talking about this yesterday, but Vlad ended up talking about how 24/7 markets are coming and the kids of the future won't even know that it's, something that we didn't have previously. And we saw some comments from SoFi about Hood just sort of saying like, there's giving people products and then there's giving people responsible products. And like, I don't know. I don't know if that's sort of a comment because they're not losing, but that Robinhood is going faster, or if it's a real critique by SoFi that they don't want to play the same way that Robinhood is. Public also put out a message online very similarly to this, essentially saying, wealth is not won in a bet. If you're looking for a broker that's not also your bookie, we invite you to try Public. You do not need to say, a name here. You don't need to say Robinhood to know exactly who they're talking about. So, yeah. Maybe SoFi should buy public. No, I actually think a lot of employees from SoFi have gone to public. I don't know. Like, I think if they wanted a better brokerage, that they would acquire a much smaller name than public. Yeah, I don't know if they'll ever do something like that. And honestly, I think that they've made a lot of advancements on SoFi Invest without making any additional acquisitions. Oh, hold on a second. Give me one sec. Guess who just re-rated SoFi? The re-entry into crypto is a positive development by opening another avenue to drive continued membership and revenue growth. SoFi's crypto platform has several nice features, including the ability to make purchases directly from your SoFi deposit account and the backing of a federally regulated bank. Although the 1% fee appears above some competitors, our base case projects the trading platform to add an additional 6% to revenue over the near term. 6%. Wow. They're essentially saying, but the upside from the broader crypto opportunity set is much more significant over the long term. Okay, wait. Hold on. Let me read through this. I don't know if I'm allowed to bring this up on screen or not. It's not saying I can't. Okay. This is, and I swear, KBW after just hosting Anthony Noto. Now, to be fair, I'll bring it up on I don't see anything in the report that says that I can't. Yeah. Bear with me one moment. I'm going to just be a nice person here and make a couple changes, because it does show their names and phone. Well, I mean, okay, it's Timothy Switzer. We all know who it is. It's KBW, but I don't know if his email and number wants to be exposed. But his DD is definitely getting exposed here. Okay. I'm just going to make a quick change. It's Timothy Switzer. Let me just edit this to not include this. Oh, gosh. I don't know if I can do this. Okay, sorry. Okay, and this should be fine. Whatever. Okay. This is the KBW report. Just going to keep their contact information out of there. But yeah. The re-entry into crypto is a positive development by opening another avenue to drive continued membership and revenue growth. SoFi's crypto platform has several nice features, including the ability to make purchases directly from your SoFi deposit and backing of a federally regulated bank. Although the 1% fee appears to be above some competitors, our base case projects the trading platform to add about 6% to revenue over the near term, versus 2025 expected. That's crazy, by the way. Like, is he saying add 6% to the full year of 2025, which means, what is that? A 24% increase to Q4 guidance? Yeah, by the way, he didn't change his price at all. It's still $20. Still $20. Okay. SoFi announced that it has launched SoFi Crypto, becoming the first and only nationally chartered bank where consumers can buy, sell, and hold crypto. SoFi's crypto will allow members to buy, sell, and hold dozens of cryptocurrencies on its platform, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Excuse me. Using money sitting in their SoFi money checkings or money checking and savings accounts in a single integrated app. SoFi Crypto will also provide in-app education and simple step-by-step guidance to help consumers get started. According to the fee sheet provided by SoFi's website, they are charging a flat 1% fee on buy and sell transactions for crypto. There are no fees for receiving deposits. The announcement reported that members can join the waitlist now for priority access to SoFi's crypto during the phased rollout, which will begin availability to more members over the coming weeks. SoFi also noted that ownership of digital assets has doubled in 2025, and data showed that 60% of SoFi members who own crypto would prefer to buy on a bank provider over their primary crypto exchange. We have updated our previous projections for SoFi's crypto trading given the disclosure for 1% fee versus the previous assumed 0.55%, as depicted in the table below. I only have this sheet, by the way. I do not have the table below, unfortunately. On our base case, assumes roughly that 30% of Invest in SoFi members will open up crypto accounts, which is conservatively below the 50 to 55% of Robinhood's user base who are monthly active pro crypto users. We then assume an ADTV of $25 per account, which is generally consistent with Hood metrics. If we assume SoFi makes a commission rate of 1% on that volume, in line with their fee schedule, we arrive at an estimated 228 million of total annual crypto volume in our base case scenario. I mean, I'm sorry, they're absolutely smoking crack. Like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I'm sorry, that's super bullish, but it's like way too bullish. SoFi makes like 12, not even like $6 a quarter per user. And you're saying that this is going to add on $25 per user? If that's true, KBW needs to increase their, like, how can you just read that and then put $20 as your assumption? It makes no sense that before crypto and after crypto, and also before today, you assumed 0.55%. After today, you changed it to 1%. You didn't adjust your price, not even a cent. It's going to bring incremental net income of 37.5 million and incremental EPS of 3 cents, all else equal. Although these are relative modest contributions, our analyst only incorporates the benefits from crypto trading, while management has made it clear that they intend to build SoFi into a significant crypto player. So they're only taking in the benefits of crypto. Why do you guys have a job? Like, you're not doing any work to try to assume that they're doing anything more, even though you know it's coming. You're saying, hey, we're only doing like what they've told us they're doing tomorrow. We're not going to assume 3 months out. Why would we do that? This is investing. We don't assume what's going to happen into the future. The company has also announced that they plan to offer stablecoins and a wide range of other services over time, including the ability to borrow against crypto assets, expand payment options, and introduce new staking features, along with blockchain and digital asset infrastructure capabilities for other companies. None of that is priced in. Okay, great. I need to think about this again. Is that average daily transaction volume? Average daily trading volume of $25 per account. In line with their fee structure, we arrive at an estimated $228 million of total annual crypto revenue in our base case scenario. If that is true, I have completely gotten it wrong. Crypto is so much more bullish than I would have thought. I wonder if that then brings on even more volume to just regular SoFi Invest platform. Like if you're then spending more money on the platform, are you then, buying more stocks, more, ETFs, whatever? KBW is very unserious, but most firms cannot factor in any unannounced product lines into their analysis. I don't agree. First of all, they're announced. They said SoFi plans to build crypto assets, expand payment options, introduce new staking features. The multiple, like maybe you don't even put that into your assumed new revenue, new EBITDA, new net income. I get all that. But you, as the institution, can decide what the multiple is worth it trading at into the future. Nobody is going to fault you for saying a $31 stock at close is going to be worth somewhere around $30 into the future. No, they're saying it's worth $20. So they're actually taking the extreme, like that's not conservative. That's not conservative. They're making an extreme bearish bet against SoFi. They're saying it's going to drop down 33%. Which, by the way, they're alone now. And also, they said that this was 6 before. Let me bring up the chart because I tweeted about this not long ago. Maybe it was long ago. Okay, here. This is their history with the company. This is all this year. 8 to 9 to 13 to 14 to 18 to 20. Okay. During that time, the stock was 13, 16, 21, 21.50, and then $27. As of the last upgrade, I don't know where we were on October 29th. The stock at close was $30.14. They've been wrong every time. And by the way, it's 1 year out, but go look where they said the company's going to be 1 year out previously. Okay. Platform is trash. Noto is old and out with the times like Vlad. And out with the times like Vlad. What does that mean? Are you saying why invest in SoFi when you can invest in Hood? Just wait for student loan product from Hood? Well, I think that the multiple is very different. One, you're paying for a company that is $100+ billion versus a company that you can pay $30 billion. And you tell me, JPM lifts, who is going to grow faster next quarter? Is it going to be Hood or is it going to be SoFi for year-over-year growth? If you say Hood, bet on that, sure. But I think that there's a good chance that SoFi could put up larger growth than Hood next quarter, and yet the valuation doesn't even remotely come anywhere near that. SoFi's growth will slow. Good luck to you, brother. Tanner is awesome. Tanner and Catfish kept me in SoFi. I would have sold long ago without them. I still think he looks like a 70s porn star. Give a thumbs up if you agree. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the donation. Yeah, no, we're gonna keep growing it out. It can never stop. Okay. There have been so many bears on SoFi that I have had to deal with while, covering this company all the way from $4 a share, whenever, like, legitimately. And if you're in this chat right now and you've been since $4, you have gone through every stage of emotion, all the comments, people saying that, you didn't know how to value this bank. And now at $30, you can go to the Gary Gordons of the world and, all of the bears that ended up saying that we were wrong. I don't even remember the name of, Baloney or David Chiavrini or all these guys that, this was a terrible pick for. Some of them even said, hey, go long lending club, go short SoFi. Boy, oh boy, would that not have worked out for you. Just wait until it crashes. Dude, I've had to wait a 5x since it's crashed. Like, what are you talking, or more than a 5x? It's gone from 4 to 30. All you're doing is trolling. Like, how much longer should I wait while I'm making boatloads of money on my shares of SoFi? Good luck waiting. You should take the opposite side of the bet then. I like Upstart more if I'm doing loan. All right. You probably don't even know what, like you said that Hood should get into student loans. You probably don't even know what Upstart does as a business. Yeah, just wait until NVIDIA goes to zero. We need to talk about NVIDIA, by the way, because this is super bearish. I mean, maybe they're going to zero. Maybe JPM is also shorting NVIDIA. SoftBank has exited its entire NVIDIA stake, signaling that smart money rotation once again is leaving retail traders holding the bags. Back in the dot-com burst, I remember plenty of smart retail traders who started out as day traders but ended up becoming long-term investors in names like Cisco, Juniper, eBay, and Rambus. I don't know that one. Not always by choice. No, it's true. I'm sure there are bag holders of the past. But do you guys know what SoftBank has sold its position in NVIDIA? Which, by the way, they have been, Masayoshi-san has been historically, he would be the richest man in the world if he never sold his NVIDIA the first time. This is his second large time fully selling out of NVIDIA. He would have been the richest person in the world if he had trusted Jensen before. So, yeah. However, SoftBank is selling their $5 billion NVIDIA position to fund OpenAI's bets of buying more data centers. They're gathering up cash to buy NVIDIA chips. Okay? At the end of the day, the only real customers actually making money in artificial intelligence still to this day is NVIDIA. If you guys want to sell, if you guys want to short, be my guest. But I'm going to continue to bet on the future of artificial intelligence. Speaking of which, AMD's Investor Day was today. They said that the data center total addressable market is growing at a 40% compounded annual growth rate to $1 trillion by 2030, up from $200 billion in 2025. They also, AMD called out saying that they are going to grow faster than the market. And over the next 3 to 5 years, they're going to grow data centers at 80%. Server revenue will grow at 50+%. Client revenue will grow at 40+%. And adaptive revenue will grow at 70+%. Data center revenue at 80+%. If that's true, I will have to get a significant stake in AMD. Significant. Why is SoftBank so bad at investing? They're not. They're not. I'm making more of a joke. SoftBank is one of the greatest investors of all time. Masayoshi Son is a one of one. There's no one even like him. If he's swinging his bat, it's to only hit home runs, more than home runs. I mean, the guy never takes bases. Like, he is just going for absolute 100, 1,000 X's, which means that they're going to get a lot of things wrong. But whenever they get it right, it pays for a lifetime of mistakes. So I'm actually a big fan of Masayoshi Son, and think that he might, there'll never be another person like him, I don't think. How did I do? Did I do okay on the sports analogy? For real? Is this a thing? Like, what is it called whenever you hit, like, just the most insane home run? Is there qualifiers for how far past the fence it actually gets? There must be, right? My NVIDIA is AMD. I like AMD a lot, but made the decision back in January. So far, so good. Sold my last NVIDIA at 145. Hey, if you got into AMD at a good price, that's working out perfectly well. I thought a grand slam was if all the bases were loaded. Is that not true? I thought that had nothing to do with how far the ball has gone. Moonshot? Yeah, something like that. Like, I'm talking about the actual length. I'm not talking about what it actually yields the team. Out of the park. But isn't out of the park just a home run? Out of the park. All right. No, I'm not saying there's an additional score for length, but is there not like a comment about it? Out of the stadium? Yeah. Okay, something like that. That's yeah. Out of the stadium. Whenever Masayoshi Son hits a a home run, it's usually out of the stadium. Into the parking lot. Yes, okay, perfect. Thank you. Those are great. Thank you. That's a good one. Tanner, how do we feel about the situation? Oh, no, I'm not really making a comment about that on artificial intelligence. I think AI is at a place where it's a national security issue. I'll leave it there. That's not what you say. You hit a grand slam because that's no. Nope, because you know what? Masayoshi Son is not a team. It's just him, and there's no bases to be loaded. Okay? It's just him. I'm scared about Oracle going bankrupt. Please provide therapy. I don't have therapy for you. Oracle seems like the weirdest name in artificial intelligence right now. The Grand Slam is a breakfast. That's true. I have eaten more Grand Slams than I have done Grand Slams. In fact, I have never hit a ball that was pitched to me with a baseball bat. Do you know that? I've never played baseball. Nor do I even remotely care to. Sorry, I know it's America's favorite pastime, but it might be the worst sport in existence. From someone who has never played it. But have you made it to third base? Oh gosh, that's funny. Okay. Tanner, when are you doing a meetup in the States? I've got no clue. However, here, wait, let's watch. Have you guys seen the crypto video from Anthony Noto? We watched it during the fireside chat, but if you guys haven't seen this, it's definitely worth watching. And I'm not talking about the 2-minute clip. I'm talking about like the 7-minute long clip, just talking about the products that they're getting into. I think it's very important. Let's take a listen, and then we'll talk about it here in a second.
New this morning, we got the guy at the desk. SoFi launching crypto trading on its platform. Joining us right now, first on CNBC, is SoFi CEO Anthony Noto in town. Nice to see you, sir, in person.
Good to see you as well.
Okay, so what's going on here? This is a big deal.
Yeah, this morning,
a very big deal for you.
It is a very big deal. It's a big day and a big milestone. Reverses the course of time.
It does.
We've wanted to be a one-stop shop for all your financial services needs, and one of the holes we've had for the last 2 years was in cryptocurrency, the ability to buy, sell, and hold crypto. We were not allowed to do that as a bank. It was not permissible. But in March of this year, the OCC came out with an interpretive letter that it's now permissible for banks like SoFi to offer cryptocurrencies. So this morning we're launching as the only national bank, the first and only national bank, the opportunity to buy, sell, and hold cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana.
So I was going to ask, are we just talking about 3 for now?
We'll expand well beyond 3. It'll be a pretty broad assortment. We try to differentiate on being fast, having broad selection, great prices, ease of use. So we'll try to give members, SoFi members, as much selection as they would like.
And what's the difference between going through you and going through Coinbase or going through Robinhood or somebody else?
Yeah, there's a couple of really big differences. First, we're a nationally chartered bank, which means we have the infrastructure, the processes, the financial conditions that provides the safeguards that a consumer would expect from a bank, which is going to allow us to scale responsibly. The second thing is because we are a one-stop shop, you can do all your banking, checking, and savings at SoFi, your borrowing, and your investing, and now crypto. And one of the unique things about that is when you come to SoFi and fund your crypto investments, you'll fund them in a SoFi checking and savings account. That checking and savings account's deposits earn interest.
Say that again. You're going to fund it with crypto?
You're going to fund
your checking account.
You're going to fund your checking account with cash.
Okay.
And then when you buy Bitcoin or Solana or Ethereum, the money will come straight out of your checking and savings account. So when you're not putting cash to work, it's not sitting in an account that earns no interest, and it's not sitting in an account that's not insured. So the money will sit in an FDIC insured account. Up to $2 million is what we offer. And when you buy, it will instantly withdraw from that account and send it to the marketplace.
Okay, so here's a question. This seems novel in this moment. If we're sitting here a year from now, given this OCC decision, and every other bank in this country, how novel will this ultimately be? Meaning, do you imagine Bank of America and JP Morgan and every bank, Wells Fargo, all the big banks and everybody else will be doing exactly this?
I don't. And a couple of reasons for that. We're the only digital one-stop shop. They do not offer the breadth of products that we offer across borrowing, saving, investing, protecting, and spending. So we have the ability to not just buy cryptocurrency, but we're now providing the ability to send payments internationally via the Lightning Network, which is a crypto network, and we'll add others to that.
Why can't they? Why can't some of these sort of more traditional legacy banks do the same thing?
They'll have to answer why. I fundamentally believe that we put the member at the center of that what we do, and we focus on these things that are activities to do with your money, not products. And so the SoFi Money account is an account that you can use for international remittance, you could use for self-serve wires, you can now use for crypto buying, you could use for paying friends via an email and Zelle. And so the whole idea is to leverage technology to make moving your money as easy as possible, but also doing all the other things you need to do to get your money right.
Let me show you. Can we just put Bitcoin up on the screen for a second? So we're at about, what, 105,000 today? I don't know where we were.
104 and change.
So what do you make, though, of how your new your clients who may be buying this should be thinking about this? Should it be digital gold? Should it be a speculative asset that they're sort of trading? What do you think of this?
The first thing is we've asked our members what they want, and 60% of them have said they would like to invest in crypto, but they want to do it from a regulated entity.
How should you tell your customers to want Bitcoin? What does that even mean, man? It's not about that. It's about offering them selection. That's one of SoFi's core tenets. Like, just there's things that they could potentially invest in. Don't let them look elsewhere. Allow it on your platform so they don't go elsewhere. It's as simple as that. Anthony Noto then goes on to say why people will buy it on their platform, but not why they should buy Bitcoin.
Like a bank, and that's what we are, and so that's one differentiation. The second is it is a highly risky asset. It should be a very, very small piece of a total portfolio, and people should dollar cost average into it and make sure they stay very diversified. Because it is risky and it is volatile, you could lose all of your money, and we want to make sure that our members understand that. But they do want exposure to that, just like people wanted exposure to Amazon back in the mid-90s. Risky, now it's $1 trillion company.
What is your exposure to all of this in terms of the risk to the system? If everybody were to do what you're doing, what kind of exposure would ultimately the taxpayer have if all of this, if Bitcoin goes from this to, loses 50% of its value?
It's like any asset. If it becomes overvalued, that risk increases increasingly over time. If there's a lack of liquidity, that risk increases. And those are all things members should understand. We provide education on the platform. And in fact, when we used to provide cryptocurrency investing, we would have a warning just before you hit buy that said, this is a risky asset. You could lose all of your money. In our press release, we say that exact same thing today. So it's just another asset that's not proven over the course of centuries, that will take time to level out and become more stable from a price and valuation standpoint.
Can I ask, does the Noto family invest in crypto right now?
Yes, we do. I have about 3% of my investable assets in cryptocurrency.
Mostly in Bitcoin, or what's the?
Mostly in Bitcoin.
And were you early?
I was not super early. We've done perfectly fine. We have exposure to it because, one, I believe we're investing in a technology, not in a currency. The analogy I use with people is, imagine if in 1990 you could have bought a piece of the World Wide Web through some coin called the World Wide Web coin. It's very similar to that. These are networks, they're communication networks used for payments and other applications.
What do you make? We were talking to Kathy Wood. Was it just this week? Last week? I guess it's Tuesday. Last week we were talking to Kathy Wood. And she, has had a very sort of sky-high valuation for Bitcoin. I think it was $1.5 million she thought it could ultimately get to. She took that down, interestingly, last week and suggested that the success of stablecoin is so much higher than she thought that in some ways stablecoins for transactions could ultimately crowd out Bitcoin that might have been used for that.
Big picture, we believe blockchain and cryptocurrencies are a super cycle, technology super cycle, just like AI, and it will be pervasive across all the financial system. Stablecoins is one example that will fundamentally change payments. SoFi will launch SoFi USD, hopefully in January. That will be backed dollar for dollar by reserves. Because we are a bank, we'll actually put the dollars in our Fed bank account, so we'll have no liquidity risk, no credit risk, and earn Fed funds. That's a really attractive vehicle for people to use digital currency for, and that will compete with other digital currencies. It's not clear who will be the winner. Stablecoins are one example, but if there's a huge proliferation of stablecoins and they don't have the liquidity that I mentioned, they don't have the credit risk and duration risk, that could become a very risky asset also.
Should we worry about stablecoins in the following way, which is that hopefully if the stablecoins are backed by something meaningful like treasuries, that effectively takes treasuries out of the game to be lent in a different way?
Yeah, I actually worry quite significantly about stablecoins from operators that are not banks. Where are the reserves sitting? Is there duration risk for those reserves? Is there credit risk for those reserves? Are those reserves bankruptcy remote? SoFi, the answer to that is zero credit risk, zero liquidity risk, and working on bankruptcy remote. That's three elements that you have to think about with whatever stablecoin you use. Just because it's backed dollar for dollar doesn't mean those dollars will be there when you try to liquidate, just like a money market fund that breaks a buck.
I mean, that's a great way to end it. I'm curious to see how that picks up in terms of its popularity. Like, if all the large banks and institutions completely agree with SoFi, or if it will be met by a JP Morgan dollar, a Bank of America dollar to compete while also having those licenses to, go head to head. It's very interesting. Noto doesn't even understand crypto. What are you even referring to? Out of that, what do you think that he missed? You let me know. Ooh, I find myself so easy to be trolled, it's insane. Either that, or it's just, people are just saying things. Also, can we talk about, this is true. I just saw a tweet from Lakeview family that said, this is the most swaggy, braggadocious version of Noto I think I've ever seen. It's so true. If you guys remember how he looked during that whole thing, he was chilling. I mean, honestly, that was a really good point. He was like sitting back in this terrible background, by the way. KBW, I actually appreciate the background because maybe it means you're putting more towards your actual research than this background. But you guys set this up in the 1990s and haven't changed it since. Regardless, he was. We need more Anthony Noto interviews. He could be a great media person, like 100%. And I honestly think a lot of what's happening these days is that a lot of successive companies is not actually influencer followed, it's founder followed. Like, I think a lot of people follow Karp's journey, Vlad's journey, let alone if it's Amit or myself or someone else that's actually also commenting on it. It's those individuals that are setting out, how much interest people have. People need to see Anthony Noto more, believe the vision. He is him. He's the guy. Like, Noto's a gangster. I just wish more people saw that, especially more people in the investing community, because then you could end up getting quite the multiple on the stock as well. Feels like recently Noto gets retail. He definitely has been tweeting a lot more and trying to reach out more. He doesn't even know what Solana is. I honestly think that whenever they come out and you see that, they are putting out their SoFi USD, that it most likely is going to be on Solana. We've seen from many, many people, Solana ended up tweeting out that they are very excited that Noto is launching crypto. Okay. Then after that, we ended up seeing someone from the Solana Foundation that ended up saying, this is very exciting that SoFi is launching crypto trading. We did not see anyone from Ethereum Foundation. We didn't see Ethereum's X page end up tweeting out that they're excited for SoFi. I wonder why that is. So I wouldn't be too bothered about his pronunciation of Solana. I think they have a closer relationship than you think. Now, I wish it was on Ethereum. I agree. But there have been stablecoins launched on Solana. That's not unheard of. Fiserv just launched theirs on Solana. Okay, let's see. He needs to talk a lot more if he wants to get the stock to 45. Yeah, or he just lets the numbers speak. But I do agree. He could get to 45 by improving the multiple on the stock. I think a lot of people need to relook at SoFi, including that JPM lifts guy in chat, because honestly, he thinks that this is like a slow growing business. Growing at 40% rates, just insane. But yeah. I wish Noto could take some Fountain of Youth drink or something. I mean, he's an older dude, but it doesn't mean that they can't be great operators of businesses. It's whether or not he's a proper delegator. As someone who sells covered calls on SoFi, we need to chill. Well, just stop selling covered calls for a week. Let it rise. Think Noto will retire with SoFi? Yes. Yeah. I would probably say, you give it 10, 15 years, depending on his aspirations with the company. He probably continues to hold. I mean, I don't know. Who does he give it to? Chris Lapointe? They give it to someone else for next CEO, and then he continues to retire and hold the shares in SoFi for their success next. Tom Lee is old too. Yeah, he is. I don't think old is a problem for investing in businesses. It's definitely something to look out for. But I think Jensen is how old's Jensen? 62 or something like that. Like he's older than people think. He's 62. Jensen's 62. It's not about that. As long as we stay sharp. Okay. He'll retire once he hits his trillion? Sure. Any chance SoFi becomes a takeover target? Absolutely. I mean, if they continue to grow the way they're growing, they could like you're talking about the acquisition targets that could end up buying them are honestly the richest companies in the world. They're all large financial institutions with huge pools of capital. It's just whether or not they think that it's worth it to pay a lot for that for SoFi. And they would have to pay a lot. Noto has been in banking for decades. Yeah. Who was that in reference to? Elon won't buy a bank, at least not that I think. Nor does he like to do a lot of acquisitions regardless. If JP Morgan offered 200 billion right now, yeah, but the problem is JP Morgan's never bought an expensive acquisition in their life. Like from my understanding, they always buy things like on the verge or halfway through bankruptcy processes, which is great for the business. But that's also why I don't think that they'll be touched. But you saw Capital One pay a good amount for Discover Financial Services, but even then, like that was never even remotely priced near where SoFi is being priced. Like they spent more, but it's on the multiples of how much they're doing. And SoFi has quite the multiple. Yeah, exactly. And SoFi is not a distressed asset. So you're going to see a lot more acquisitions in banking for community banks and regional banks that are suffering than I think you will on SoFi. I think a lot of the way that banks think, and rightfully so, is that a dollar is a dollar, whether it's, in a branch or online or whatever. It's like, what's our return on equity? Let's buy as many dollars for as cheap as we can, and then we will invest it the way that we like to invest it. You don't need any branches or any customers if you have a massive pool of capital. Look at Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, like they just need them and their clients, and that's it. But for the tech side, for the actual business side, SoFi wants to take as many customers and then create their own pool of capital over time. And I think they're doing that. Okay. I'd be kind of disappointed if SoFi is acquired. Not me. I'm looking for a return on my money. If I get that return earlier than having to wait through it, I'm happy. Like I love SoFi, but I think there's a lot of good companies. Yeah. They didn't mention much on tokenization. I think there were some comments made about blockchain and tokenizing loans. But you should check out the fireside chat. I think it was the best fireside chat we've ever seen. Anthony Noto was in his element. Is it too big to be acquired? No. Best ever, 100% best fireside chat ever. There was one recently, like I think the one before that was also very good. It just wasn't as engaging. Yeah, I honestly think that one was the best one. There's the most amount of detail that I think we've ever seen. Yeah. Have you had to learn to not be emotionally attached to certain stocks? Have I had to learn? Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not emotionally attached to many stocks. Um, I felt emotionally attached to Tesla. I felt emotionally attached, obviously, to Nvidia to some degree, Shopify for sure, SoFi to some degree as well. But I will drop those companies if they start disappointing, especially not especially, but SoFi would be on the chopping block before Nvidia would be. I don't know. I just think that you listen to people like Peter Lynch and you listen to people like Warren Buffett, and if you don't follow those rules, then you are just essentially setting yourself up to be a worse investor, right? I want to be the best investor that I can be, and that's not by doing the opposite of what the legendary investors that have come before me have done. So that's the only problem. But yeah, I try to remain completely emotionless. Well, no, I mean, there's always a little bit of emotion. Like I love Noto, but I love him because he's doing well. He stops doing well, I think people can turn around pretty quickly. I'm emotionally attached to this channel, but no, we're not though, because the day that I stop performing and I stop bringing up good picks, there'll be no more views. The reason why the channel's been doing well is because we've been covering SoFi and Hood and Google and Amazon and Nvidia and some of the great names that have done well, and we called it before it happened. And it's not because I'm a genius or whatever, but we're in a bull market and I'm very bullish, so it's worked out. Whenever we start seeing a sea of red, everyone turns on me pretty quickly. But that's the way it kind of should be to some degree. More Axon? Guys, you turned on me talking about Axon. I don't know. SoFi moving after hours, we're 31.12 right now. Oh yeah, we are popping right now. On almost no volume. It looked to be like one large purchase. Here you can see a little candle here coming in. Which looks to be about 19,000 shares. So nothing crazy. Yeah. A little pop after hours. I want your thoughts on D-Local tomorrow. I'll be streaming it. It's a position that I hold. Yeah. I just bought That's My Candle. That's great. What about BMNR? Well, give me some time, okay? I'm still a believer. Also, I have been wrong. I definitely have been wrong. But we try to be more right than wrong. The best investors in the world, like honestly, you can be an unbelievable investor with a 60% success rate. That's the truth. No one likes saying it, but it is the truth. And then on YouTube, people want you to have a 100% success rate and throw it in the face if you get a single name wrong. Now, I've only gone up with my position in BMNR, so I'm not setting up for, anything other than for that to turn around. But like, I think a lot of people called my demise on SoFi too early. People have said it didn't work at 4, didn't work at 5, 6, 7, whatever. But we're here. 7 times higher, whatever. Chime's been doing good. Where's that one right now? $20. Down 4%, still above 20. But yes, we dude, I got to buy in at like $16.50 something cents. I think it even dropped lower than that, but I didn't get a purchase in. But I put a tweet out, or not a tweet, I put a comment out to the Discord people saying I bought. But yeah. Let's go back to SoFi really quick. Overall, I think Chime is going to do well. Let's go, Pam. This channel is awesome. Thank you. Honestly, it's you guys that make it awesome. 31.19. There's going to be days where we're here and it's like, I'm a full believer that SoFi ends up getting to $40, $50. And then, you know what's so funny? We're going to see comments. Like I saw a comment this morning, or not even this morning, like at the beginning of this stream that said, SoFi's just stuck at 30. It's like, do you even know what you're saying? Dude, like, do you know how lucky we are to be, quote unquote, stuck at 30? You know how good it feels to not fall below $25? How much pain and suffering that was. And there's going to be times whenever we rush over past 40, past 50, and then we're quote unquote stuck at 50. Good. I'm happy it's stuck at 50. Tyler Thompson, thanks for becoming a YouTube member, my friend. Appreciate the support on the channel. It means everything to me. And Chime to 60. I'm not even calling for Chime to 60. I'm calling for, Chime to 30 would be nice. Just in quick succession is also what I'm hoping for. I just joined in. What are your thoughts overall? I just recently started buying and think this could be big. I think that historically, if you look at SoFi's price, it is expensive versus what we've seen previously, but we're also seeing the growth is higher than what we've seen previously. Growth is accelerating. Margins are accelerating. We're starting to hit that sort of, velocity that Anthony Noto has talked about, even in velocity of product announcements. That's very exciting too. But yeah. Oh no, the red candle. Guys, this is not on a lot of volume. I would not, don't get too excited that this just pumps up all the way to 35. Tech platform is finally doing some deals. Yes. I think Zeta might be up my alley as well. I've been listening to some fireside chats and some things while I've been in the sauna lately, just listening to Zeta calls. So we're learning, but it's still going to be some time. I've been listening to a lot of new companies lately. I missed your first thing. BMNR doesn't pass my test. The balance sheet doesn't look too good to me. I could be wrong. Yeah, I mean, they hold Ethereum. What more do you want them to do? There's nothing else to the business. It's just whether or not you believe in Ethereum. let's see. I watch aftermarket and overnight pretty often, and very often it does not seem to relate to open hours. No, it's they are completely different levels of volume, right? So they're not going to track one to one. Okay. Yeah, Bitmine is a Chinese company. Yeah. That's funny. I know you like B2C companies. Have you looked at Figma? I have not looked at Figma. I've never used the product, and whenever they IPO'd, it was pretty expensive. I don't know where the market has gone since then, but you are 100% right. I love B2C companies. They can just charge a larger multiple and stuff like this. But is Figma even considered a B2C company? Is there a lot of like consumer UX UI like designers? That seems more like a job rather than a hobby. What I mean by D2C, I guess it is or B2C, but what I more mean is I don't know how to even state it, but usually for companies that are selling a product directly to consumers rather than businesses, they can get away with those customers not shopping around as much, and so it leads to less competition. Masses of freelancers use it. Obviously, they have a product that's extremely differentiated because I couldn't name you their next biggest competitor. I'm also not in the space. But yeah. Seeing SoFi green after hours is scary. It's done this all the time and then red the next day. We broke through 31.21. Too bad. We're headed higher. I think over time, if we even check the Fed funds rate really quick, the chance of a rate cut right now is at 68%. The chance that we don't have a rate cut is at 32%. If that continues to fall, the chance that we don't get a rate cut, if the chance that we get a rate cut continues to increase, SoFi is going to head higher. There's even a comment that Anthony Noto made that he said, if there's 100 basis points of cuts left, then we are going to go gangbusters. Pretty exciting. Market's about to go lower. Dookie, how dare you? How's my grab position doing? Are we doing all right? I'll get Tanner's face tatted at 35. Please do not do that. I'm diversified. I hold SoFi and SoFX. That is an awesome tweet or an awesome comment. It was $6.20 in the morning. Yeah, it's definitely up then because I remember buying in the fives. Tanner, can you put background music on? You know what? I used to have background music. It used to be this. Here, wait. My background music used to be this. Does anyone remember this? Can you even hear it? It sounds quiet. You guys always said it was elevator music. It made me nice and calm. Lisa, you don't remember this? No, this is the way we used to jam out, do all of our live streams like this. It kept me more focused, to be honest. I remember now. Please stop. No, it's like nice. Just it's elevator music. You got to just talk stock while the beats are going. Okay. Did you know that Kalshi said searches for second jobs reach a new all-time high? 34% chance of a recession now for 2026. All-time high for second job. Damn. Okay. Tanner's ASMR channel? Yeah. No, I have a secret ASMR faceless channel you guys will never find. I'm kidding. Can we hit $35 end of week? I don't know. I would like a catalyst, and crypto might be that catalyst. Like what we could end up seeing is that SoFi ends up showing off like early data that new downloads are coming in much quicker because of a product like this. I've got a little bit of a SoFi downloads plug, so I'll see after a couple weeks of crypto coming if it does make any changes to, you know, the total amount of downloads. But yeah. Tanner, you need a rebrand like NVIDIA CEO. You are too soft, brother. I am soft. I'm just being me, baby. I already got the mustache. That's hard enough. But look at these hands, man. I've got little keyboard warrior fingers. Just being me. I am playing music. I can turn it off. That was me. I see. It's so crazy how happy that made Dookie Pie. How much she's laughing at the fact that I said that I have soft hands. It's completely insulting. Okay. I like the music. No, I love the music too. But we have to stay focused. We have to stay focused. Tanner, why is after hours going up? Look at most of stocks. I think Gov opening and also no music, please. Sounds good. Yeah, let's take a look at the broader market really quick. The SPY and definitely the QQQs seeing some tick up in the after hours, but ain't no party like an NVIDIA party, because an NVIDIA party don't stop. Let's check the Googs. Amazon. We'll also check Upstart, Lending Club. These are going to have zero volume. Yeah. Hood. I mean, nothing's really popping like SoFi's popping. It's definitely different. That's a little different. Do a poll on keep the music. So the reason why I stopped it completely was I was noticing as I was listening back on the stream, it affected my mic. It's like my mic didn't come through. It sounded choppy. So that's why I cut it off. You know? Yeah. keyboard warrior fingers, not warrior fingers. Like I'm typing. Keyboard warrior. Don't just warrior fingers sounds gross. Okay, I will do a poll. This poll might not decide anything, but music or no music? This is for background music. Okay. Use the music when markets crash. I've got a couple options on here that I can use without, YouTube shutting down the channel. But most of them are not any fun. Oh, wasn't this? Oh, wait. Hold on.
There's a savvy investor named Tanor. His fintech knowledge couldn't be grander. SoFi's his favorite play. He analyzes it every day. His insights help investors get candor. Tanor, the fintech king. Nubank and Robinhood make his portfolio sing. He holds great businesses for the long haul. Buy for now, he says, standing tall. From Shift4 to PayPal, he knows the...
I've sold out of PayPal. Let's not talk about it. Oh my gosh. And that was early on in the AI music stuff. That was a... Can you believe that's still saved? I didn't even make that. Someone sent it to me. Oh my gosh. Oh. Tanner made this. No. I didn't even make it. Honestly think it was Ken Megan. It was someone like that. It was like one of the, it was a common community person in SoFi said it to me. Okay. Please make it an intro. No way. Let's never play music on here again. Okay. That's what Tanner does during his days. Yeah, I should use more of those AI things to help with the production value on the show, but I do not. Please just sing for us. No. That was better, I promise, than what I could sing. Yes for music. By the way, yes for music would specifically be this song, which is the only one I actually like. But did you guys know, let's quickly drop off a SoFi here, that Meta AI is leading the pack in month-over-month growth, according to SimilarWeb. So what we end up seeing here, that Meta AI is growing at 105% month-over-month, specifically from September to October. Whenever we compare that against the other names, which, by the way, are all growing, Copilot.Microsoft.com is even seeing growth. Claude seeing a ton of growth recently, which is insane. Gemini doing very, very well. Perplexity, nearly 30%. Jonathan Price with the 5 gifted. Whoa, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate the generosity, man. It's incredible. Do I actually have a booger? Do I really? Maybe I was laughing too much. Is it true? No? You guys got me? All right. Music, no. The yes ratings are coming down. Okay. Okay. Richard, thanks for the 5. Really do appreciate it. Most of us are watching from our phones. We can't see. Okay. Regardless, let's go ahead and cat hair. Honestly, it's 8:51. I think we might wrap there unless something ends up popping up. Yeah, no, things look fine. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. Seriously. I was supposed to have a BM&R video out today. I think it's probably going to come out tomorrow. I also want to talk about more about this fireside chat in more depth, going through some of the actual comments that Noto had said. So keep an eye out for that. But until next time, bye for now.